Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me this week is Mike and Tommy.
Switchblade G. What?
Great start.
He went first Bullet Club leader. I went current Bullet Club leader.
Our Twitter account, of course, is at CCG_WrestleCast. You can subscribe to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel.
Sorry, it's been a while.
It's all good.
Yeah, Mike, welcome back.
Yeah, man.
Even
Good
though
to
you
have
have
you. Although you're
through writtenly
all
greatness.
yeah,
Apparently,
although
it's. I should not even be here. I should just write everything. down.
Look, I'm working on getting that 1 minute warning you sent in framed, and it's probably going to hang up here in the rafters.
we just
somewhere.
we
that
should,
was legendary.
we should frame it for the rest of as long as we're doing this show. It doesn't matter if we get a whole studio and a whole thing with Countdown City Geekcast. That should always be for the WrestleCast
Yes.
hanging up
Maybe
somewhere.
we need to start now that we're past the technical 1 year mark, like a Hall of Fame for
for
the
takes.
show. Just for the show. Like
I'm
Vegas,
down, but
anything.
I'm in.
I think at this
Tina
point
isms and stuff like that.
on this show, Brock Lesnar has officially been dubbed Mr. Most Days Off. That is
absolutely.
going to stay forever on him. It makes so much sense.
Make that a shirt, and
Yes,
I will wear it proudly.
yes.
I'll wear it in front of him.
Funny
I
thing
don't
is-
even care.
I know a guy that actually makes shirts. I'll probably work on that.
And the thing is, if you wore it in front of him, he wouldn't care either. He'd be like, "Yep, that's me."
Eat, sleep, Mr. Most Days Off, repeat.
He'd be like,
okay.
hell yeah, you want to see my bank account?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real. I'm never hating on his account. And,
My wife and my bank account?
Yep.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah.
today we are going to be recapping Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
Talk about a crazy week of wrestling. There was a lot that went on this past
all
weekend.
lies. It was all mechanical. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, more than just that.
I know.
Towing the company line here. And then we are previewing AEW Full Gear.
Yo.
5 matches announced so far on that card. There probably will be more. We are recording this on a Tuesday night after Impact. Might have a little bit of news on that too, because that's been really good on TV as well. So we'll jump right into it. Let's start with Crown Jewel. Y'all guys saw highlights.
I saw highlights. Yeah.
I'm going to say myself and Tina watched this. This was definitely the best Saudi Arabia show that they've had, and dare I say better than some of the pay-per-views that they've had this year. Especially Hell in a Cell.
Dare
Yeah,
you
I'll
say
say-
it's better than Undertaker Goldberg?
I was
Nothing
saying,
would beat that
I was
classic.
about to say if it was worse than Hell in a Cell, Jesus Christ.
No,
Like,
it
for real.
was honestly this was really good.
I saw they had the red light though, so there's that.
That was the only thing that was horrible, I'd say. Seriously, the Fiend does not have to wrestle under a heat lamp. Okay,
And did
it's like he's a freaking reptile. If he's too cold, he falls asleep or something. I don't know.
Dude, you just figured out how to beat him.
I know. Just turn the lamp back to normal light, and he'll go away. All of a sudden,
He turns back.
Bray Wyatt
I
appears.
was just gonna say, he
Yes.
turns back to Bray Wyatt.
turns back into Bray. He slowly morphs into Hawaiian
Yowie
shirt Bray
wowie, guys.
into Yowie Wowie Bray. That's how it works.
What
Anyway,
happened? I was asleep.
that's the only thing I would say I would dislike about the show. The rest of it was really good.
I'm good.
You
I'm
good?
okay.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
I did not get to put a match of the night poll, but just because by the time I got around to watching it, the show was long over because lo and behold, I was at work when it was airing here. Then again, I was on a 40-minute delay in Saudi Arabia. We'll get to that later. But there are 3 candidates I would say qualify for match of the night. Mansoor versus Cesaro.
Of course.
Of course, this is Mike Cesaro minute here.
Oh, we're gonna get to that later. That's continuing.
Team Hogan versus Team Flair, which was I had low expectations for this match. It was really, really good, I will say. And I am honestly hoping, and it looks like they're going that way, put these 2 teams up again in a Survivor Series style match in a few weeks. And finally, a match that was announced after we had recorded last week, which honestly easily became the most anticipated and definitely the most emotional match of the night, was Natalya versus Lacey Evans. And we're going to start right there, actually. My 1 minute warning, of course, last week was about Evolution. It needs to come back. Sadly, WWE seems to watch my 1 minute warning and do the exact opposite, as they have moved Evolution to the retired pay-per-view section of their website.
Damn it, Jason.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
In all fairness, I don't know if you've seen lately, but Natalia came out after that when they were interviewing her about this.
Yeah.
And said that a second one is coming soon down the line. So I know they moved it to retired. Or
I hope it comes back.
Me too.
It has.
Yeah, it has to. But this was a historic match. If you're going to watch one match on the card, because everyone seems to, for one reason or another, hate that WWE is involved with Saudi Arabia, this is the one you need to watch because I think this one meant the most to the crowd than anything else. And it's not to say there were people that hated it there. There were a couple of water bottles thrown at Natty and Lacey Evans while they were walking down to the ring, which sucks.
Saudi Arabia, it's hot.
Yeah,
No,
that's
but-
why. Anyway,
Props to them for just shaking it off and enjoying it for the people there.
I mean, really, like, they probably expected it. I mean, that doesn't make it right.
Can't please everybody.
Let me make myself perfectly clear. That does not make it right to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in the least bit. What I'm saying is they had to know there were going to be some people who just did not like that, regardless of how covered up they were or how good of a match it was. They just were not going to like that because that's just the mentality. Again, that doesn't make it right. It just makes it expected.
No, it was a definitely emotionally charged match.
For sure.
You got to remember, watching it and thinking as a father of a daughter, lucky that we are to live in this country because there are other parts of the world women have no rights and women are still trying to get rights.
Yeah.
I don't even know yet if women are allowed to compete in the Olympics in Saudi Arabia yet. So
I don't know.
this is a step in the right direction for them. Obviously you can't show any skin. There's the same thing that Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks had to do a few years ago in Abu Dhabi as well. But it was an emotional night. I mean, the crowd shots showing the women in the crowd. Hard cam, if you're watching it while the match is going on, there's a little girl on the left-hand side just jumping up and down, enjoying it the whole time.
That's cool.
It was pretty damn cool. And
that's one thing that kept me from like hating the show entirely was that. And I was like,
it was a great moment. The crowd was into it. Corey Graves and Michael Cole got choked up afterwards, showed them on camera. Like they both wanted to cry how awesome it was.
That's cool.
Natty, of course, afterwards taking selfies and everything with the woman at ringside. So
yeah,
it was really, really cool. Applause. This is like, if there was a goal WWE had in booking these shows in Saudi Arabia besides making money, and part of it is like the Crown Prince was wanting to change some of the culture there. Okay, this is a step they were looking for. Now you got at least one women's match on the card. And that's not to say we shouldn't congratulate Lana as well, because she was also part of the show. During the Team Hogan match, she came out just quickly for the entrance for Bobby Lashley and the walk to the back.
I didn't even see pictures of that. Was she also like in the full body?
She had a full body thing, but she had like a real like beautiful like dress over it as well.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she only came out on the stage.
Right.
Lashley did the entrance there. Lashley walked to the ring and then she just walked to the back.
Did you like shake her hand and like not trying to kiss her?
They didn't get all as lovey-dovey and sexual as they do on TV, obviously.
Oh, wow.
But so that was a really cool moment. Obviously, she wasn't going to be accompanying him to ringside. There was a lot going on in that match with 10 people in the match, and I think they did it also more at least to protect her, I think, as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mentioned the water bottles getting thrown.
If they do this at Survivor Series, she's going to be ringside.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
If they do it again. But, yeah, obviously with the situation. And I mean, if I can be serious for a minute, I know.
Think about for Lance Storm.
Yeah, that's just my. Damn it! He beat me in 1 second.
Well, apparently, and I kind of crap on this Crown Jewel thing. We've talked about this a lot. Mm-hmm. I know we respect the people going over there. We're going to talk about a little bit more about the stuff they had to go through afterwards. The people, the wrestlers and all the crew for WWE. What it means to the people there and who don't have control over what their government does. But it's just hard not to kind of be jaded by this. And like this is an amazing moment for Natalya and Lacey and what it meant for, like you said, the girls in the crowd there. But it's hard to not watch this with just that little like, the things that the Saudi government has done.
Yeah.
As much as WWE wants to toot their own horn, in the end, it's about getting the check. And it even seemed like by the end of the show, that played into other things that happened, like making sure they get that check.
Yeah.
So it's hard because it kind of taints it a little bit, despite what all these hardworking members of the crew and and the wrestlers are doing and what they're trying to do for the people, and it kind of sucks, but it's to me, it's the reality of it. So
yeah. And you mentioned it, the crowd there. We're spoiled here. They don't see this live as often as we get to.
Yeah.
I mean, WWE runs through here 3, sometimes 4 times a year in San Antonio.
Sure.
So, for one thing I will say about the show, it was not a whole separate. The last time they were in Riyadh, elitists and government people in the front and everyone else in the back. Like, this looked like a full house, and it was a mix of a diverse group of people in the front. So it wasn't just like high-ranking
I heard
officials.
some people say it was like maybe the first row or two looked kind of fancy, but then everything else was just a lot regular people. Like
it was like any other show. I would say, and the crowd was into it. They were into it. Biggest pop. They loved Lesnar. I mean, they were just happy to see Lesnar.
Big scary white monster.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you're probably right.
That's an apt description of him.
And it was crazy. Lesnar opened the show, the whole Cain Velasquez thing. That match lasted all 2 minutes, but
they showed it on SmackDown. That's how short it was.
They put the full match on Twitter. Come on.
I didn't know that. But like. They started SmackDown, and you could tell Heyman was kind of stalling for time. That's why I made the joke about, they're already going into the 4-minute offense. Yeah. Granted, it turned. We'll talk about that later, but they just showed the whole match. That's how short it was, apparently.
Everyone's going to just crap on that. I mean, I was at work, and then I get a Twitter alert that the match was over. That was opened the show, and Lesnar had won by submission. And, like, here's the full match, 2 minutes. I'm watching it, and I was like, okay. And then all I'd messaged these guys was Lesnar retained, tapped out Kane in 2 minutes, and opened the show. And these are the emojis I get. This sort of thing. And
I was hoping you meant like Big Red Kane. Like maybe they bait and switched us. I don't know.
That would have been better.
But I think the match was booked in a genius way, to be honest with you.
Oh, get out.
Okay. Sure, no contest might have been better.
Seth Rollins.
No, I'm just saying. Dick. I'm just saying, he made it MMA style. This was like the fight, it looked like Kane was going to knock him out again, and he gets caught, pulls a Kimura.
I guess the point.
Obviously, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. You're in the
obviously, this was done because, as we mentioned before on the show, before he even signed the contract, we knew whether he was going to AEW or WWE, he needs knee surgery.
That's right.
And it was just a safe match. He gets the surgery. He gets healthy. He gets into great shape. You have the trilogy of this because he beat him once in UFC. You have the trilogy of this at WrestleMania, title on the line or not.
See, to me, I feel like if this wasn't a Saudi show and you don't have the pressure of that big money for their big check, do you rush Kane into this match like you did in the States?
Oh, God, no.
No.
Like, I guess that's, to me, like, after you found out everything, that could be a big money match, and maybe, I'm sure they'll get their rematch at some point down the line.
Yeah.
But this just seems like a wasted, like, you made him fly over there, all of this, for a quick 2-minute MMA-style match. And I get it, like, he was attacking and then he got caught, and that's what happens in MMA. But the whole point is we're not in MMA anymore. I know he had the knee injury. Yeah. So, honestly, like, to me, it just felt like they pushed him in there because it was one of the big draws, and it's the Saudi show. Like, I felt like if this was a show in the States, they would have just, pulled he got injured in the back, or, we found out, earlier today he was injured, and they're going to have to, like...
Yeah, they probably would have.
You know what I mean?
Or we might have gotten a no contest finish in the States. Possibly. One of those things. Who knows?
Or Dominic comes out today.
One thing that did end up looking good out of that match, though, is Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Who beat the snot out of Mr. Most Days Off and did it again on Raw on Monday with the bat.
I didn't watch all of Raw, but I did see that.
You did see him go Tanya Harding on Mr. Most Days Off.
He's just so small, I think there was a pipe, actually.
Well,
I think
could have been a T-ball bat, but hey, those things can hurt. Still, it makes it's a great attitude for Mysterio that I'm enjoying.
No, I agree, but I know we're talking about the Saudi show, but just real quick to Raw from that segment.
Yeah,
I saw people also joking. So he came out and he threatens Lawler, right?
Yeah,
like Heyman, and they pull that edgy, like he's gonna kill you and no one's gonna resuscitate you this time. Nobody comes out to help Lawler except for Dio, right? He stands up.
Yeah, he stands up for it.
Then Mysterio comes out to attack Lesnar. Then everybody runs out from the back to try and stop that. And people like, why aren't you protecting Lawler when he's threatening him with death, but you ran out to save your monster Brock from little Rey Mysterio? I was like, That's true. That's
Yeah.
what happened.
Things that make
Great
you go,
writing there, people.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, because you
Yeah.
know.
you guys let us know what you thought the match
Hey,
tonight was. There's
Cesaro
3
match
options
or
there.
match of the night, man. Because Cesaro, I mean, I honestly saw some highlights of that. I'm gonna go watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
that might be the one match I watch.
That was a really good match.
but it's Cesaro, of
Obviously, the
course.
pop for Mansoor was on point, biggest pop of the night. So
And he was like, "When you see me wrestle again in 6 months at the next show."
my God,
I don't
against
hate-
Cesaro again.
I don't hate the guy. Just
No.
had to be Cesaro.
He's a hell of a talent. He
It had
really
to
is.
Be Cesaro. Come on.
Anyway, our pick results for the show. Tommy went 3 and 5.
Don't care.
Mike
Ooh,
and
JC,
I,
me and you went the same.
yeah, 4 and 4. I wonder how that worked out. Tez
Oh.
went 5 and 3, and Tina went 6 and 2.
I told him this before the show. I did not care, but he picked Humberto Carrillo to upset AJ.
It could have happened.
Look, I didn't care, but if I did, I would not have picked that. Obviously, come on.
Hey, I think it was the first time we all got a battle royal right for once.
That's true.
We all picked Carrillo, so
Oh, we did.
all
I
picked
completely
Korea.
forgot we did. That.
props to us.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I also, I went back and watched a show from last week, and half your picks were Siri. So I mean, Siri, flip a coin.
This
It
is-
worked out.
this-
Hey, 50-50, and our
500.
picks were 50-50. So
500.
500, yeah, straight down the middle.
Dallas Cowboys football.
hey, hey. Well, and to be fair, I wasn't even remotely trying for this show.
Yeah, I saw you playing your game the entire.
You were too busy getting eaten by Metroids.
Shut up.
Anyway, our WrestleCast rating 0 to 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to December. Somewhere in the middle is Hell in a Cell. All right.
Hell in a
Tommy.
Cell is less than
Okay,
in the middle.
Tommy.
You know what? Honestly, I'll go 2.75. And the reason I'm giving it that is because
That was the length of the Kane Lesnar match.
sure.
Oh.
Okay, I'm done. Go ahead. Your turn.
Nailed it.
I agree.
Mike, go ahead. Are you seriously going 2.75?
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, my God.
I
Really?
think.
Wow.
To me,
Jason, you watched the show.
I did. It was really good.
So really, our opinion should be invalid. But I mean,
But no. I think for me, it's just like, well, the matches are good. It's just this. To me, I'm kind of over this whole thing. I mean, I get what they're trying to do. Well, besides
because we
money.
still got to get into what happens after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason
I hope that doesn't overshadow the show.
And I'm not gonna lie, the only reason I'm giving it anywhere near that high a rating is because I think Natalya and Lacey Evans match, and them in particular, deserves more. If it wasn't for them, I think I'd give them a much lower rating for the show. But anyway,
0.75. Wow. And you're
So
saying
we didn't talk
0.75.
about Tyson Fury. Like apparently he count out victory with
it was yeah,
a
he
punch and he knocked
knocked him out, and he stayed out for the 10 count. Yep.
Wow.
Fury looked great though. He had the charisma. So he.
Cool.
Well, yeah, I've heard he's done that from boxing.
Oh yeah, he did.
I saw. I
his
did see
entrance was
yeah,
great.
I was just gonna say I did see his entrance.
Dude, his entrance was awesome.
Like someone said they were trying to recreate the beginning of Rocky IV,
yeah.
where Drago's in the
Yeah.
ring, like, what's going on with all this pageantry, and that's what
yeah.
what's his name, Braun looked like.
Braun was just looking like seriously, are you effing kidding me? That's basically what you could hear him mouthing off his words there. So
Oh, that's awesome.
it was
That's-
good stuff because he
that's
got the
great.
full pyro.
I saw his entrance, like it kept going back to pyro. You thought he was gonna come out, and then more pyro.
yeah,
That's
Reminds me of
That
that
was
time. Reminds me of
amazing.
that time. What's his name? Fought Big Show at WrestleMania. Floyd
Oh,
Mayweather.
Mayweather.
Yeah, Mayweather had so much pyro. I was like, dude, half of this budget was for Mayweather's pyro.
Yeah.
It's Mayweather. Does that surprise you?
No, okay, good point.
Yeah.
Then again, he probably paid for the pyro, so he could afford it.
Yeah, he's throwing the money at it. So
Yeah, there you go.
Tina and I really did enjoy this show. We actually both gave it a 4.25. So
More power to you.
yeah, believe me, this is a very underrated show. I
You're
would
an
argue it's one
underrated
of the. I argue it's one of the better ones that they've had. Not just
Yeah,
Saudi
but that's
Arabia,
not
but of
setting
the
a high
year.
bar.
Of the year. God, you mean?
Well, actually, of the year,
Well,
that's
just
still
told-
not setting a wrong.
I just told you why.
I know. Hang on, I gotta.
WrestleMania this year was good though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
Would it really be that difficult to top a DX versus Undertaker and Kane match where one of them gets injured and Shawn is literally the best wrestler in a match when he hasn't wrestled in 8 years?
My
I mean,
point is, we didn't get some stupid gimmick match. We got matches that, in a way,
Brock
makes
and Kane.
okay. Well, it wasn't them bringing back old
Jason, I'm
timers.
just messing with you.
I know you are. I know you are. Maybe this, obviously, the contract being extended through 2027. Yay! We'll see where this goes.
What do you freaking do?
Overall rating 3.5. Now we'll
No,
get
can
into this craziness.
Yeah, let's talk about before we get to that contract extension.
Yeah.
Let's talk about everything that happened before they decided to bring that out.
Let's talk about the bad timing of that extension too. So
Yeah, dude, the timing of that have been any worse to announce?
when this show was put together, I'm thinking, okay, Thursday in Saudi Arabia. And now they do live shows on Fridays. At first, I thought, why are they doing a Thursday show in Saudi Arabia when it's usually been Fridays? And I was remembered, oh, yeah, SmackDown's on Friday now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Are they going to get back in time just from normal travel? And as the day went on Friday, it became more and more apparent it was not happening.
Nope.
But
Oh.
not necessarily for reasons we thought. So
Oh,
was it?
no.
No, it wasn't. Or
And
was
to
it?
quote New Day, oh, no.
Oh, no. So basically, the story of this can be summed up with the picture that I'm going to put right behind us, and I'm going to show it to you guys too. In 3, 2, 1, here's the picture. So, as you can see on the private jet over here, basically Vince McMahon, Triple H, Brock Lesnar, I don't know who that is, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, and The Fiend.
That's one of the producers.
One of the
I think.
producers.
Oh, it's Kevin Dunn.
Oh, it's Kevin Dunn.
Did it?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what he looks like. They managed to get a private jet and get the heck up out of the Middle East pretty quickly. Whereas all these guys you see over here were ready on a plane to go.
The rest of the roster.
Rest of the roster, when all of a sudden their plane had mechanical issues. This has been a much debated topic, but apparently there was an argument with Vince McMahon and the Crown Prince while
No,
they
there
were in Saudi Arabia.
wasn't.
I don't know. Some reports have come out that the Saudi government owed WWE because they had not yet paid the money for Super Showdown. And
Was that the one that was as good as WrestleMania?
Yeah, actually, that's the one they say that was as good as WrestleMania.
Was it?
So magically, some $60 million payment happens to arrive, but Crown Jewel's on a 40-minute delay in Saudi Arabia because of it, supposedly, allegedly. Who knows? Anyway, long story short, the vast majority of the talent in Saudi Arabia got stuck on a plane for 6 hours, and they were eventually told to get off, some reporting that there were military police around as well. And then a few were able to get another jet trying to get back in town for SmackDown. Didn't make it, obviously, while the rest had to basically come in the next day. The problem with all this is the statement that WWE put out. Does anybody else have the statement in front of you? Because I just did not want to screenshot. Because I was like, are you kidding me? This is the statement they put out.
Well,
No, it was basically just mechanical issues.
yeah,
Basically, it was
yeah.
technical issues.
I didn't
was
screenshot,
like-
but that's what they said.
The problem with the statement that a lot of people have had issues with on the talent is the part of it where it said some superstars felt so strongly about getting back
they
for
threw the rest
SmackDown
of their crew under the bus.
that they put their own money up to get a flight back to try and make
Like
it
a
for
private
SmackDown,
jet.
like
Yeah,
a private jet. And so what you're basically telling these talent here is that, hey, we couldn't get the money to fly them there. So the people that could afford it
yeah,
are the, as they were saying, the hashtag top 20 that were able to try and get back. Even granted, none of them made it.
Look, like here's my thing, because what started coming up was like some people were insinuating that Vince McMahon had an argument with the Crown Prince about money and all this. He cut the show, and then the Crown Prince basically had them kept, made the plane, stop,
Yeah.
delayed,
Yes.
almost like hostages. Now, more than likely, it wasn't that serious that they were literally hostages. But here's the deal: the talent, for the most part, didn't know.
They were kept out of the loop.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have been tweeting what they did.
yeah,
Yeah.
Carl Anderson's wife was like freaking out, like it's not worth the money. Come home, we love you.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Basically, and she in one of her tweets put like, they're being held hostage. Basically, I saw one report of a guy who he said he's like, I'm not a wrestler, but I've worked with Saudi Arabia because once they got all this money, obviously a whole bunch of American businesses were like, hey, let's do business,
Yeah.
right? From what he said, they dealing with Saudi Arabia and their government and their money, they have big egos. He completely believes Vince McMahon has a big ego, and he thinks the talent just got caught in the middle of a swinging contest, if you will. And that seems pretty feasible. Like
Yeah, it does.
that
Yes.
seems like the most thing, that was possible. You know, the statement, if I remember correctly, I don't know if it was a statement or just whatever other people said the story was, like, it was the perfect storm of, if you want to go through, but I remember reading something like, it was mechanical issues, and then we were getting another plane, but then the pilots who were supposed to fly, their time was up, and they weren't allowed to fly anymore because they'd been on. And it was like the perfect storm of, everything just happened to, like, not have, and they stayed there 24 hours. Come on, like, there's more to the story one way or another, and it just doesn't add up.
And we won't ever hear about it, unfortunately.
Nope.
Oh, well, because that leads to kind of the next thing.
Yeah.
Where at Raw, they apparently have the meeting about it, or they don't, according to Meltzer or Seth Rollins. So
I don't know. Believe who you want to believe.
Yeah, this is something.
AJ Styles on his Mixer stream said he didn't think there was any military police. It was just mechanical issues. Who knows? But then again, AJ is. I'm not saying he's wrong. Everyone has a different perspective about it. But there's a vast majority of the superstars that have tweeted about how they're never going again.
yeah,
I think Andrade tweeted "never again," like finally home or something like that too.
like,
So
and here's kind of another thing. A lot of them literally were like glad to be back in the US of A on home soil, that kind of stuff.
yeah,
If you're on a trip that you're cool being out with, like if I was in Orlando at Disney World, or like I had to go to Orlando for a conference, and they're like, plane things, you're gonna have to stay here another day. I'm not gonna be like, oh man, I miss San Antonio. This is horrible. I got to get home. Like,
because you're still in the U.S.
right? But like that's what I mean. But like, okay, let's say I'm in England, right, or France or some other country. I'm not gonna be like, oh man, they might keep me here forever. There was clearly some fear,
Yeah, by
whether
someone
it
held.
was
Yeah,
legitimate or not, about whether they were going to allow to come back, and that goes back to dealing with this country and their government. Like,
Yeah.
that's what happens when you deal with them. Like,
it's like, but it's also a matter of when you're going to a place like England or France or something like that, you have a majority of people in your group that speak the language.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, man, you don't. I mean,
You don't
I
speak
don't
the
know, do you speak
language.
French?
You don't have a full understanding of the laws. Funny. But these people there probably speak
do
English.
you speak English?
if I feel like it.
Bloody hell, I don't think you
You know,
do.
If I feel like it, hey, dude, I watch enough Doctor Who and Sherlock. I could get by just fine. Thank you very much.
There are places in this world you don't want to get caught because you're not 100% familiar with the laws. You don't know what things are like, you know.
They got the money.
But see, so,
Like
okay,
why
so
people want to take tourist visits to North Korea at this point, I have no idea.
that
Dennis
makes no
Rodman.
sense to me.
I-
Well, Dennis Rodman, because he's in with the president. That's kind of different.
Yeah.
You know, there's a difference between knowing the leader of the country and just going there because you feel like it are two
Doesn't
different
Vince
things.
McMahon supposedly know the Crown Prince?
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
But like, but the thing with this is also because when AJ Styles released this thing, it's like maybe to him it didn't seem so bad.
Yeah.
But to everyone else who everyone reacts to unknown situations differently.
Sure.
But the problem is though, if a majority of people feel that threatened by the conditions, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and
regardless of how much they're getting paid.
yeah, and also I think it does kind of suck that only a certain few people are guaranteed their flight, and everyone else is kind of like essentially commercial. That's kind of a dick move.
This goes back to our talk about
The NXT
workers' rights. Unionizing wrestlers. The whole John Oliver thing that came out before WrestleMania about how these guys are independent contractors, and how WWE is basically forcing them to go to Saudi Arabia, but not paying for their travel.
Yeah,
That doesn't make sense to me.
that doesn't either. And also, just like the next thing we're going to talk about, this is the absolute worst time to do something like this for
Yeah.
Vince. You do. I mean, okay. This is not okay. So this is going back to the days of essentially WCW and the WWF, when like if a guy just could not make it work with one company, he was right there next. He went next door essentially.
Yeah.
Ric Flair had a problem with the new WCW president and said, "Screw this, I'm out," and left with their belt and just showed up right at WWF at the Royal Rumble like a day later. This is not, and I'm not saying every person who has a problem will leave and go to AEW, because they won't. That's just a fact. But they don't. The beauty of it is they don't have to anymore. There's MLW. There's NWA. There's Impact. There's a ring of New Japan. There's New Japan. There's Pro Wrestling Noah.
If this guy's taking a shot at ROH like that, I mean,
it was hard. It was hard to do that, but I had to.
Yeah, I know.
Right now, I have to. I mean, and again, I even said Pro Wrestling Noah, and Noah just got back there like this year. Like Noah, even before, I would not have put on that list. But even then, there's also Rev Pro in Britain because they're still hanging on despite NXT UK, like we were talking about. And because I saw some of
they got a lot of backing from New Japan too.
Yeah,
of that, so.
Well, there's NXT Japan. Oh wait, no, there's
not yet.
Oh, but there's New Japan America. So.
There we go.
That makes me so happy still, but just to hear that out loud.
The problem with all this, of course, is shortly after all this crap happens, WWE announces that they've extended their deal with Saudi Arabia and part of the contract is they are going to have 2 shows a year. Apparently, the previous contract, Crown Jewel was the only show they were obligated to do, but they were doing these other one-off shows, Super Showdown, Greatest Royal Rumble, yada, yada, yada. So, the thing is,
there are some guys who are just going to they just know they're just going to miss out on those paychecks and they don't care.
There's a lot of people that are going to refuse to go.
Time for Hawkins and Ryder to shine.
Yeah. But the beauty of all this, we got the best SmackDown episode ever.
That was really good. Yeah.
And it's amazing to me how great things are when you just let them happen on the fly. When you have to pick up based on what you have and just put something together on the fly. Like how you should let wrestlers do their promos on the fly. Some bullet points. Don't script everything.
Not on the fly, but not scripted.
Not fully scripted, but give them some bullet
Yeah,
points.
right. Bullet points.
How things happen organically. We've said it before. The best storylines that they've had, see Kofi Kingston into WrestleMania,
Daniel Bryan,
be happen because somebody got hurt in the Elimination Chamber, and all of a sudden they got a main event.
Daniel Bryan got eliminated from the Royal Rumble, got booed, but he got booed out of the building, so they had to add Daniel Bryan to the WrestleMania main event.
That doesn't happen if CM Punk doesn't quit. Let's be honest with you.
You're right.
No,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
And
good.
And Becky Lynch is a prime example of what happens quite by accident. They expected a heel turn, and the fans to hate her. Everyone cheered her. The punch that Nia Jax delivered that took her out of the Survivor Series match, but defined her character in more ways than one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the iconic image, and that led to her main eventing WrestleMania.
There's another example that they just touched on recently in New Japan where Naito and Okada got voted out of the main event of Wrestle Kingdom, and that was what fueled him to be the LIJ leader he became because he was so mad at the fans and New Japan for that he just adopted that whole attitude. So when you let things happen organically, even from some failures, you just let it grow.
Yep.
I read something and I kind of agreed with it in terms of that. Now, after the Austin McMahon thing, WWE just got on that kick of having the McMahon authority figure in some way or another, and over the years they basically told you that the company WWE was the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
So now, whenever WWE decides to choose that, because fans are smarter now, when they find their chosen one that they're going to get behind, their Cena, their Reigns, now their Rollins, the fans are almost like they've been taught to boo that because the company is bad. So when the Daniel Bryan that no one wants to give the chance to and they don't think can work, or the Kofi Kingston, or the smaller guys, like you get behind that because that's not what WWE wants. That's not what they're choosing. And I was like, I think that's
that makes the most sense.
Description of what's happened.
But see, here's the funny part with that because I think you're right. But the funny part is also when they almost have a guy that they seem like they are choosing, Braun Strowman, and they don't pull the trigger. It's like, well, this is the guy you clearly want us to cheer for. If we're cheering for him, and you're doing nothing.
Like you're not putting it on him when you
it's
think
like
we should.
It's just like it's like to me he is like the Vince McMahon guy. He's huge. He's tough, and that was like they never put the belt. I was like,
that's a good point.
I was like, every time they don't put a belt, I literally do this. I'm like, why didn't he win? What happened? This is literally this is when Vince McMahon draws a wrestler. Braun Strowman is literally the guy on the paper. Why isn't he winning?
He'd probably just have a smaller beard in Vince's eyes.
Probably.
Other than that.
Maybe. It was a hell of a week for the travel. We're all glad everybody is home safe.
Yeah, clearly.
Me personally, I feared a bit for Lacey Evans and Natalya.
Dude,
and Lana.
for real. Yeah, you're not even really kidding.
There's always a worry there. I mean, we worried about Renee Young being there too, but thankfully she had her husband at the time there with her. So, Yeah, but that SmackDown episode, you got this segment that was going to be reserved for backstage where Lesnar announces he's quitting SmackDown, then of course going to Raw. Mm-hmm. But they could not have timed this NXT invasion perfectly.
That's true.
Because they did announce before Crown Jewel and during Crown Jewel that Survivor Series was going to be 3 brands.
Yeah.
Raw, SmackDown, NXT. And
one of the matches might steal the show.
Yeah.
The tag team title match?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, and I have a weird fear that's going to be on the pre-show.
I don't care. I'm still going to say it's still the show. Usos and New Day were on the pre-show once, just saying.
But Shayna Baszler being the one to fire the first shot and attack Bayley, and it was off and running from there.
Yep.
And you people in Buffalo are so lucky you got the best SmackDown ever because that was awesome.
Yeah, guys.
So the Friday before when it was starting to come out that like they're not going to make it back in time for SmackDown, people are like, well, I guess that just means Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn can do an Iron Man match. Well, after everything played out, I don't know if you saw. Sammy tweeted after he got beat up by Riddle and Keith Lee. He was like, "Dang, maybe me and Bryan should have just wrestled each other for an hour." I felt so bad for Sammy, but that was just hilarious.
Honestly, though, I wouldn't mind that hour.
No, that would have been a great match. But like, and I got to give it to them because like, especially after what happened on Raw, like I know you have to make it legit, but like. It was kind of a big deal to let Cole go over clean on Daniel Bryan. Like
it really was. I was very surprised by that. I half expected an Undisputed Era run-in.
Yeah.
But they only had Roderick Strong there, and then, of course, the whole Undisputed Era was there on Monday.
Now,
how great was it that at a SmackDown or Raw show, A, hearing the Undisputed Era's music, B, everyone in the crowd going, boom, and C, everyone yelling, Adam Cole, baby. How awesome was that?
I'm laughing because I love that he beat him clean on Raw, but I don't know why. To me, it was just SmackDown. Sorry, on SmackDown. But I don't know why I loved it that Undisputed Era suddenly magically showed up all on Raw to beat up Seth Rollins. I was like, I don't know why because usually I was like, oh come on, he gotta beat him clean. But I was like, no, for some reason I was like, when they all beat him, I was like, yes, that's awesome. I'm okay with this. Because for one, they appeared like out of nowhere. I was like, first of all, where were the 3 of you this entire time? None of you ran down out of nowhere. You all climbed up from underneath the ring. I just love that.
Now this sets up, and everyone's thinking, oh man, they're gonna have some great ratings for NXT. Maybe, but I don't know if you can expect all this Raw and SmackDown talent to show up this week because they're shipping out to the UK.
I want to save that to the NXT right before Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it all now in this first week. I want NXT to start getting a little cocky, start feeling like they've started to put things over, and then that last NXT before I want to see a little Raw group, a little SmackDown group show up and wreak havoc back on them.
Yeah,
that's what I would like to see.
It doesn't work out this week only because they are going to the UK.
Or are they?
Well, they've SmackDown. They flashed it up on the screen. There's house shows and SmackDown, and I think the following Raw scheduled in the UK. And then I think, of course, it's Adam Cole and Ciampa this week on NXT for the title, if I'm not mistaken.
Are they going to do that before? No, I think it's wasn't it Roderick Strong again defending?
Is it Strong? Okay,
I got to double check.
It's somebody. They already have some stuff booked. So
I don't know if Ciampa's going to get his match till after War Games, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, but that's another thing too. Is speaking of War Games, so they have announced already Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch versus Bayley, and that promo, by the way, on Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler on Monday on Raw.
Money,
awesome.
It's actually making me finally like Shayna Baszler. Is this? I mean, it took a year.
If you ever want to see how much she's improved, go back and look.
She's improved in her character.
Yes,
I'm interested to see how her matches go when she's not just running roughshod. And I assume the finish is not going to be her trying to sit in the choke out for 15 minutes and them trying to reverse it. But you got Becky and Bayley in there, so you should have a better match overall.
I guess to me that's what's making me more excited is because now hopefully that exact thing won't happen every single time like it's been doing.
The only thing is she may be pulling double duty that weekend because she's already supposed to be in War Games.
Yes.
So
that's what happens. That's what happens when you start a war.
We're going to kill each other.
I'm curious
Tomorrow
to see
we're going to defend
how
NXT.
much Raw and SmackDown get involved in War Games at this point.
I actually was thinking that too.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
And this opens up some doors.
The other thing,
it'd be great if the Shield showed up. Oh, never mind.
I want to see Raw and SmackDown. One of them sides take a shot at the other because don't forget it's usually Raw versus SmackDown.
Now it's 3
They're
ways.
both focused in NXT, but I want to see Raw and SmackDown's kind of slip one in on each other while they're focusing on NXT because, last year that was, they've done the invasion the last couple years of each other. And now the NXT comes in, and I know they want to go back in NXT, but, they're still going to fight themselves. So.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. It's very interested in that. So, another thing in this crazy week of wrestling, and I'm going to leave this to Tommy to try and explain. Joey Mercury and Ring of Honor.
Golly.
Tommy, the floor is yours because there's a whole bunch of shit going on here.
Dude, like you wouldn't
Good night.
believe. I don't even. I think I still have it saved somewhere. But like, long story short, and it's a long story. And hopefully, maybe I can get you the
I
link.
actually read through a bunch of it.
Yeah, if I
send us the link, I read
if I say like, you maybe put it.
Yeah, I'll put it in the description.
In the
here
description down
if
below.
you send it, and it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And what's sad? Okay, basically. Joey Mercury, as many people know, was a producer and backstage agent for Ring of Honor. Recently, well, depending on who you ask, either was fired or quit.
He quit.
Yeah, but he has made no bones about putting it all out there. He has said how they don't have a good concussion protocol, how they are not paying superstars living wages, how they are planning on canceling contracts of people and not telling them right now. Unfortunately, Shane Taylor, our friend, being on that list, which broke my heart like severely. There was somebody else on that list. I couldn't believe that they said that about. I can't remember who it was, but it was like some big names. It's like, was it Bandito?
Mandy Leon or Kelly Klein? I don't. There's some. Big
I don't know if
ones.
it's Kelly Klein, but Kelly Klein is a major part of this now. And I'll get
It
to
might have
that.
been Mandy Leon.
Yeah.
So.
But there was some they had like people said they had soured on. I was like, well, it just reminds me of like when going back to when Ric Flair left WCW. It was like it reminds me of that guy who was running it who had no idea how wrestling works, and it sounded like to me like they have put someone in charge who doesn't know how wrestling works. And I have, and one thing that I think is not contributing to this, I said this, and this may be blasphemous, and I could be hated for this immediately. I don't think the fact that Bully Ray is there is helping anything, really.
Probably.
No.
I don't think it is.
I also remember reading it in a bunch of the things that came out that, that Bully Ray incident with the fan.
Yeah.
They chalked it up to the fact that they never have adequate security.
Yeah.
At these little house shows, the shows they do on the loops. There's no medical people. There's no proper security. That Alex Shelley is like a trained trainer or something now, and he does a lot of like stuff for them just because he know like it's I read it was pretty bad.
Which is weird because the last time they were here, I distinctly remember I thought there were like security and medical people there.
I was like, wasn't all their security just indie guys though?
There might have been. You're right.
Usually it is. Yeah, I've
like
noticed that
Dalton's
about
done
it.
Right, and
yeah.
But usually though, but like
and they're just pulling streamers the most part.
yeah.
But still, that's kind of part of their. Anyway,
yeah, I'm just saying.
But the saddest thing that came out of this to me was everything that they said about Kelly Klein. And the reason why to me it's the saddest part is because she's your champion. Mm-hmm. The champion above all else should be one of the people you are working your rear end off to protect. And they almost let her like perform with a concussion. B, like she like they are reading her paycheck. It's like honestly, I think I get paid more per year. And that's sad. And C, it's like now she's coming out and admitting all this, and she's scared she's going to get fired from her job, and that sucks. It's like, are you kidding me? All this is happening, and now this poor girl has to worry about like losing her job. Which I mean, let's be honest, wouldn't be the worst thing because she could just. I mean, literally, I think she'll go right.
There's a lot of better landing spots for her. Honestly,
yeah, I mean.
Literally any of the other places.
Yeah, literally, like there's no. I mean, like she was
spin the wheel. Ask Siri to pick one.
Impact would be a prime player.
Yeah,
Impact would be great for her.
Yeah.
But she it's like she was a Sabotage. She'll be back November 16th. I'm gonna try and make that show because actually BOW is running the same night. Mm-hmm. So she is worried about her job and everything. But my thing is my biggest issue with this night, and I've told everybody this. I've been saying this for the past week. Ring of Honor has no excuse for this happening. They have been in this position before. They have been they had their backs against the wall. Their talent gone. They had to make new stars, and they did it. They had Joe, Punk, Styles, Daniels leave, like not like right behind each other, but they were all gone within a couple of years of each other. When they made Tyler Black a star, he left. Roderick Strong gone, Adam Cole gone, Kyle O'Reilly gone, Bobby Fish gone. They have had everyone leave before. This exodus of the elite is not new. It's not. When they were just starting and TNA said you can't use our guys anymore, Styles, Daniels,
Joe.
Oh no, Joe wasn't part of that yet. He was still ROH. Okay. He was ROH champion. He hadn't debuted yet. So Styles, Daniels, a couple of the guys left. Raven, he couldn't be on the show anymore. And a couple of guys left and couldn't be on ROH anymore. And they had Joe, they had Punk, and they just pushed because Joe's already their champion. They pushed his feud with Homicide. They pushed his feud with CM Punk. That series. They pushed his feud with Jay Briscoe. They pushed guys like BJ Whitmer, Dan Moff, who used to be in the Mafia, but then were just the Prophecy, and then were just on their own. They had the Second City Saints with CM Punk, Colt Cabana, Ace Steel. They had talent that they were just giving the proper spotlight to because other people were there. They said, okay, these guys are gone. Everybody else step up. The problem right now seems like there's no incentive to step up because apparently someone backstage doesn't know what they're doing. And when you get guys like Joey Mercury, who has been through the worst of crap in wrestling companies, to say, I'm out and here's why I'm out loud.
And posting screenshots on social media.
Oh, dude, he was...
an otherwise very professional guy who you wouldn't think to do that.
Yeah. Dude.
He has to be damn feel strongly about something to be posted.
Oh, dude, Joey Mercury is coming for all y'all because he was like, man, I'm doing this. I don't even care.
It's Seth Rollins.
Yeah, for sure.
Burned it down.
Seriously. So
stop trying to make Burn It Down happen.
That could be a thing. It's never going to happen. But my thing is with this is like there's no excuse for it. To me, they keep saying he's still the booker, but Delirious was the head booker for ROH, and they keep saying I think they say he still is, but come on, he can't be because there's nothing different that's happening now from when he was the head booker. Only thing difference is like the roster talent has changed, but there's no excuse for that either. You still got Jay Lethal.
Yep.
You got guys like Jonathan Grisham, who's amazing.
Matt Taven.
Jeff Cobb, Matt Taven, Roosh.
Dalton Castle.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not have a roster built around these guys?
The other problem is, or it's maybe not the problem, but something that's not helping that situation at all is they're no longer 2A in America. You know, for years, if you didn't go to WWE, you could go to probably TNA or ROH. Those were like your two safe bets. Now AEW is coming out. Impact is strengthening itself again.
I'd say Impact is better than Ring of Honor right now.
Yeah, right. I would say actually.
NWA is starting up, like you said. MLW. There's like a vacuum now of like, it's not like almost like we say, people in WWE didn't have a lot of other places to go. Now, same thing for you do have places to go other than ROH. And if you're going to run things this poorly, you're giving no one any incentive to want to go there or stay.
No. Yeah, because essentially what MLW is doing right now with not so much with their booking, not really, because I think their booking is a bit different, and not in a bad way. I don't mean that as a negative, but I think as far as venue size is, MLW gets the smaller venues, and if they sell out, they just sell out, and they don't worry about that. ROH is still trying to get the bigger venues and trying to fill it up. I say go back to the smaller venues. If you sell out, you sell out. You tell fans, hey, sorry you couldn't make it this time. We'll let you know when we come back around. Get your tickets early. To me, there's nothing wrong with being in like the Shrine Auditorium here in San Antonio. There's nothing wrong with being in the San Antonio Civic Center. Please stay out of the Aztec, for the love of God.
Please.
Everybody stay out of the Aztec if you're in wrestling. NXT, ROH.
Yeah, just stay out of the
Extreme Midget Wrestling. Yes,
Right.
there is one of those.
there is. Yep, there is. They had a show there.
Or New Japan USA, when you come here, stay out of the Aztec.
Please, God.
Go to the Freeman.
Go to the Freeman. New Japan has no shit.
Go to the freaking convention center.
Right.
Rent a ballroom and use that. That'd be fine.
Randy's Ballroom on Bandit. Is that still open?
It might be.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I was by there the other day. It's still open.
Yeah.
It's still there. I forgot about that. But
hell, use an old Toys R Us that's been abandoned, for crying out loud.
I went to St. Mary's, so it's down the road.
Go to the San Antonio Event Center right off Marbach.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. Right.
There's nothing there. No one does anything in that.
Squeeze it in between a half price books.
There is
clearance
a
sale.
gun show at the first of every month.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Who cares?
Gun show.
At Texas and their guns. But like I said, my overall point is, and see, okay, here's how bad this got. New Japan said, screw it, we're going to do our own USA thing. When you screw up that bad, oh my God, you have screwed the pooch. Because you New Japan just said, you know what?
Maybe it was a bad idea to book Enzo and Cass. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, let's blame them.
Well, I don't know. It seemed a downturn since the G1.
I think
Because it was all up here, Ring of Honor and New Japan, right there at the G1 Supercard, Madison Square Garden. And what happened? New Japan went here, Ring of Honor went this way.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think they ever saw the Bucks and them going to WWE or creating AEW. I thought they kind of felt like it was just going to be them and New Japan, going back and forth between there.
Yeah.
And I don't think they planned well for after that. Like you say, they always just bring up the next talent, but they had some talent, but I don't think they set up or really expected it to play out like it did. And I just don't think they've recovered from it. And they got poor management. It's not helping.
I agree to a point. And the reason why I say that is because when the original TNA ROH deal happened back in like
This was in the 2000s.
2003, I think it was.
Mid 2000s. We'll say that. Mid 2000s.
Mid early 2000s. When that originally happened, that was like over a week deal. Like TNA said, you can't use these guys anymore. You can't use these guys anymore. That was like over a week, and ROH had to pretty much scramble to build guys up. That's when you had Punk coming out cutting promos. That's when you had Joe coming in, beating up guys left and right, muscle buster, choking them out. Then when you had the Briscoes becoming the most dominant tag team that ROH had at the time. This is when you had guys of like the pure wrestling, or like you had Doug Williams, you had Nigel McGuinness, you had those kinds of guys, because they said, okay, we can't use these guys. There's other talent. Let's hire them. And let's just give them a spotlight.
Yeah, but they can't really do that as well now. That's kind of my point. Like,
Yeah.
I disagree, and here's why. There's always other talent. Literally, they could just get guys from Texas.
Yeah, but they don't have the management. They clearly don't have the management to
That's
put together.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's the problem. The management's bad.
Who's running things now?
Yeah,
Bully Ray.
There you go.
It's not the company's issue because they've been here before. It's whoever's running the company.
Well, yeah, no, I know they've done it before, but they're clearly not doing it now.
Yeah,
so.
and that's the issue. It's like when you've been here before and you didn't make it work this time like you did last time. What's the problem? And you can't just jump to the fact that there's more competition now, because in some way, shape, or
it's a
form,
legitimate.
It is an argument, but there's still talent
out there. It may not be
there.
the only reason, but
you're
having to dig deeper now for this talent. Where
but you can dig deeper, but you know what? Some of the guys who are up and coming, you don't have to pay them as much. I mean, you have to pay them, yeah, but you don't have to pay them like what you're going to pay.
They're
Jay
not
Lethal.
even paying their stars that
This
much.
is true,
So.
but
that's a big reason Mercury's leaving. They're not taking care of it. There's no concussion protocol. Bully Ray's, those ECW guys are pretty old school about chair shots to the head and things like that too. So
yeah,
and then Bully Ray's managing things. Could he do a better job? Yeah. The problem is he's splitting his time between this and his radio show.
Yeah.
He spends a lot of time on his radio show.
Actually, now that you say that, Tommy, I did read a report again, alleged, it was a report, that he was not wanting to bring in some of the female indie stars because he thought the beautiful people were bigger names.
Yeah.
And so...
And how has that worked out?
Yeah, bigger names doesn't always equal
bigger buys.
You still have to wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not, and not even just that. It's also because ROH is built on that.
Yeah.
The bigger names haven't always been what brought people back. No one knew who CM Punk was until his feud with Raven in Ring of Honor, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Cookie Monster Punk? What? Chick Magnet Punk?
Yeah.
No, I mean, Samoa Joe was
we could talk a
name.
long time about this whole ordeal, but definitely share your thoughts on it too. There's lot to that ordeal. Now, Tommy, you've talked a lot. Do you want to give us a quick rundown of the fallout from Power Struggle?
Yes, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there was a big thing for Japan, right?
So with the smaller matches out of the way first. Well, actually here's a big development. After Ibushi and Tanahashi defeated Okada and Yoshihashi, Chris Jericho aired a video challenging Tanahashi to a match at Wrestle Kingdom. That's been confirmed.
Wow.
It'll happen on night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom, January the 5th, because we're having Wrestle Kingdom 2 nights this coming year. Tanahashi accepted, and they will face each other on night 2. I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so Roppongi 3K won Super Junior Tag League for the third time in a row. I didn't realize that. They're the only team to win it multiple times, and this is the only team to win it 3 times in a row. And they will be challenging Taiji Ishimori and El Phantasmo at Wrestle Kingdom for the
Bullet Club, right?
Yeah, for the junior tag team titles, which is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Kenta defeated Ishii. This is a big one for me and for a lot of people who are a fan of the junior heavyweight division. Will Ospreay defeated Bushi in a pretty good match. But after the match was over, Ospreay was leaving. He didn't think there was anyone left to challenge him, and freaking Hiromu Takahashi came back just in time, proving his neck is just fine, and he has challenged Ospreay to a match for the belt at Wrestle Kingdom. Ospreay accepted. That is huge. It's good to see Takahashi back and healthy. I'm glad he took his time, and the fans went wild when his Titantron came up. It was so cool. Now, the biggest development, honestly, for when it comes to the main events, is Jay White retained against Ruka Goto after Kenta and Gato interfered. I was so mad. I was like, crap, you almost had it. Yeah, you're right. But the biggest of from that was after Naito defeated Taichi earlier in the night. I called that. He came out and challenged Jay White for the Intercontinental Championship. Kota Ibushi and Okada came out about their heavyweight championship match because Okada is still playing out the fact that he doesn't care about being a double champion. All he cares about is the belt that really matters to him, and that's the heavyweight championship. But it has been confirmed. New Japan has finally confirmed this will happen. Okada versus Ibushi will be at Wrestle Kingdom as the main event. Jay White will face Naito for the Intercontinental belt, and the winners of both those matches will face off night 2 in a must-be-winner scenario where one man will walk out for the first time ever with both championships.
Interesting.
Is this? You think they're going to unify the titles?
I don't think they're going to unify them yet because they haven't said it. At this point, I think they're just going to have a double champion.
Just double champion.
I think because the Intercontinental title has gotten such prestige, especially after Nakamura's reign, that they're going to still have it as 2 belts until they officially announce that they're going to unify them. I think they're going to leave it as 2 belts.
I don't know why there would be a point to unify them necessarily. I like the two belt thing for a while because then you can always lose one of them.
Yeah,
you lose the Intercontinental in a smaller match or something.
Yeah. Plus with New Japan of America, the United States title is going to have a heavy run here.
Yeah,
so,
I think the good thing about them having so many titles, it really is the fact that like they're going to have the time and space to fill up having the belts. Like they do a good job already of making a title match feel like a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like whenever you get any kind of title belt opportunity, even for the never openweight 6-man tag belts, which everyone was convinced New Japan forgot was a thing until a recent time.
They haven't even done anything with them. Yeah, so I don't blame people for thinking that.
But see, the thing is with those belts is that's kind of funny to have as kind of a joke belt because it's like it's kind of random, so it's actually kind of okay with that one. But everything else feels like a big deal. And like every belt you have to really freaking earn it, to get a title shot, and it's a really big deal. So I'm looking forward to the double champion. I hope they keep it separate. Honestly, it looks pretty cool.
I'm just writing a few notes down here because I almost forgot a show's coming up. So, you guys, Mike, you weren't obviously you've sent your thoughts in on the Jordan Myles controversy last week. There's been a little bit of a fallout here. Jordan Myles has apologized on social media for posting so much,
but not really.
Some of what he said.
Some of what he said, and he feels he doesn't regret what he said, but he feels he kind of feels strongly about it. But I'm wondering because I was a little bit worried about how they're going to treat Cedric Alexander on TV, though, because Cedric Alexander, of course, has come out in support of the #ForTheCulture movement that Jordan Myles has started. And a lot of people have, but Cedric Alexander hasn't been as vocal as Jordan Myles, but he's been there. Obviously, he did lose clean to Buddy Murphy on Raw. It was a good match. In fairness,
he probably was going to lose anyway.
Yeah, and that's fine. But a lot of argument online has been, this is going to be a work. This is going to be a work. I think it's safe to say that what was said and that whole ordeal was a shoot. Jordan Myles felt really strongly that way. Mm-hmm. And like we said on the show, it was probably something that just hit a breaking point. And he had to just blow up. But now they can turn this into a work, and I kind of hope that's the route that they go with it.
It looks like they are going to turn it into a work.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like if it does, it takes a little bit away from what he said, because then you're like, it's just another storyline. I mean, I was with him all the way. I'm not a big fan of him attacking
Lethal.
Jay Lethal. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people have kind of stuck on that. Everything else, though, for the most part, I think I see his point, and I really agree with. I know it's a wrestling thing to do, to take real life situations and turn them into two storylines, but I don't know. With this one, I just feel like it will take a little bit away from it. I mean, if you get something out of it, that's good. I mean, he won the breakout tournament, and then they weren't going to use him. Some people question whether this happened right after that. I mean, I support him. I don't know. I just when you turn these kind of things into storylines, I feel like it takes away from the original thoughts and the line you were trying to draw, if you will.
And I can see that. And my hope is that they do it smartly. We hope. I know it's WWE, but
NXT, there's a better chance of it being done smartly.
Yeah.
WWE main roster, not so much.
yeah, I agree with that. Maybe they'll turn it around and fix that. So.
Vince is going to make the new nation of domination.
Oh, my God. Could see it happening. And here we go. We pissed off Tommy. All right.
We'll add the Lucha House Party to make it more diverse.
Oh God! Please stop saying
Despite
that.
that crazy week of wrestling, we are going to get into there's actually two big wrestling events happening this weekend, but the biggest one is AEW Full Gear.
Full Gear.
Full Gear. Like I said earlier in the show, 5 matches have been announced. This is being taped on a Tuesday, so obviously we still have Dynamite to air tomorrow. We'll see what else gets added. So we'll start with the pre-show match that was just announced recently. Bea Priestley versus Britt Baker. Tina's not joining us, but she did send her picks. She's picking Britt Baker to take this one.
Same for me.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that too. You, Tommy?
Yeah, I'll go Britt.
Yeah, we're all going with Britt Baker.
I only reason I say that is because, for one, I know they've been antagonizing each other lately, which I like. I like that idea of a feud. I like those two.
Yeah.
But also, I think Bea is going to be in a bit of an angry way and losing streak because she just lost the Stardom Championship to Mayu Iwatani.
Ooh, yeah.
Just today or yesterday, I think. And because it was yesterday. It just happened. Because I was just checking like local results, and I saw a picture of Mayu with the belt. I was like, when did this happen? And so I looked it up real quick. And yeah, she won. She beat her yesterday, and that's kind of surprised because Bea Priestley was doing really well in her title reign, and I think that's just really cool.
Yep.
To me have it back. So yeah.
All right. Adam Page versus Pac, a match that we should have had a double or nothing, and then for one reason or another got booked early in England, was like a double DQ, no contest finish.
Yeah.
We're finally getting that on AEW pay-per-view TV, and Tina's going with Pac on this one. Oh, boy. This was really tough. Anybody else want to pick here?
I'm going Pac.
Pac, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. It may kind of depend on who wins the title match at the end, but more than likely, I think it's Pac.
Yeah, Pac as well. Now that I've thought through it in this short time here, it seems like the right move. Yeah, right. Yeah, that wasn't quite. It was almost flip a coin worthy. Almost was. This one could be though. Young Bucks versus Santana and Ortiz. Tina's going with Santana and Ortiz on this one. I'm going to go with the Young Bucks only because I think the Inner Circle is going to come out on top later. So, but I'm picking the Young Bucks to win this one. Mike?
I'm going with Don't Call Us LAX.
Okay.
What is it now? Power and Pride?
Proud and powerful.
Oh, it was like Pride and Prejudice? Or what was it?
Pride and Prejudice.
Sorry, it's a long show.
Tommy, what's your pick?
Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice.
Yes. I will never not call them that now.
Hashtag don't call him LAX.
Isn't there
Oh
also
my God.
like one of those like Pride and Prejudice, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, or like
there is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that? Yeah.
It's like it actually was a book someone wrote first,
Yeah.
like legitimately. But yeah, well, I actually like their tag team name, Proud and Powerful, but now I can't not hear Pride and Prejudice.
I know for a while like they weren't calling them anything. It was just
Santana
Santana Ortiz. And then I
Yeah.
saw that the other day and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I saw like on their
Wow.
on their Twitter they changed their names to Santana PNP and then Ortiz PNP, and I was like, okay. And then I kept seeing like on like their graphics it would say Pride.
Pee-pee. Hey, there's pee-pee on your shirt. Good night, everybody.
Keep going. Never mind.
Classic
Never
Animaniacs
forget what I was
All
saying.
right.
I feel
AEW
like
World,
I've been stuck on a plane for 6 hours.
yeah, AEW World Championship. Chris Jericho defending against Cody. Tina's going with Jericho. I'm I'm going with Jericho as well. I don't see any reason to take the title off him just yet.
Nah.
Anyone else think Cody's going to book himself to win the title here?
No, I feel like if Cody
Not
was going to win
yet.
it, there needed to be a better. I think there needed to be a better build and story to it.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially because Cody
Well-
just got pinned by Little Orange Cassidy not too long ago.
Well, I mean, that was fantastic, man.
Jesus, for a split second, I was like, when did he? Oh, never
Yeah.
mind.
But when he said, I like what he said after that. He said, "Get that kid a ticket to Pittsburgh. He's going."
Pissed off
going to
MJF,
yeah, I
though.
was like, I love that
Dude,
having
the
to hold him
MJF
back.
thing-
That's
MJF was
exactly.
great, yeah.
MJ, don't you pin him. Don't you count.
yes.
Don't you count. Don't. What are you doing, Cody? Get up. I don't know. The MJF's like constant line towing of like being full on heel but then face when it comes to Cody. Just I like it.
I love it.
I love. That's what I'm saying. I love it.
Between him and Orange Cassidy's like dedication to their characters.
Yes.
Like it's just great.
I love how much everyone else hates Orange Cassidy's dedication to his character because that's what I love most about it. Is like he like gives zero F's
Like
about.
some
Yeah.
people don't like. I know some of it's just comedy, but some people don't understand how athletic you have to be to pull off those moves, looking like you don't care.
Exactly.
In the least, like his dives.
Do you know, dude? I was gonna
Suicide
say,
dive
do you
with your
know,
hands in
do you
your
know
pockets.
how much you have to train to not dive with your hands at all? To like, I was like, dude, this guy must spend crazy time getting that right. Dude, that guy's probably more athletic than half of the roster. Actually,
Oh, but
Yeah. Damn right.
his super kicks to the shin. Are just,
Yeah.
dude, his half-hearted, not even half-hearted, his 1% hearted
Oh
kicks
my
to your
God.
just like.
oh, I'm sorry. Like I will never not laugh at that.
I'm-
You can-
There's
I-
so many classics.
you can
he's
do
had.
all your Cornet. This ain't old school wrestling crap, but like that just
And
it's
you know what? And
entertaining
you know what? You're
as
right.
whatever.
You're absolutely right. It's not old school. Like to the people who do not like that kind of stuff, who don't want to watch it, I get it. Don't watch it by all means.
Is Cornette pissed off at Orange Cassidy too now?
Yeah.
Is the sun coming up most days? Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I-
Look, okay, this is probably part of the reason why I love the Young Bucks. I love Orange Cassidy, and I really enjoy Sami Callihan, is because they are pissing off Jim Cornette.
Dude, they
And in
absolutely are.
Sammy's case, he slapped him upside the head. So
Yeah.
no problem with me.
Yeah,
on that.
Yeah.
and I think we talked about this earlier. I don't hate him. I'm just not a huge like.
And I'm trying,
Sami
and
Callihan fan.
whenever he talks about something, the dude, I'm trying to give you credit because NWA Power is good. Stop making me mad at you all over again.
Oh, no.
Stop it.
Cornette, yeah.
You just can't listen to him. He
No.
just-
No, you can't.
At this
Prop-
point, he's just a
Him
caricature.
and Billy
He's a
Graham.
caricature of
Him
himself.
and Billy Graham.
Oh, God. First of all, props to Sami Callihan, who opened Impact on this week with saying, "We're not going to drink a little bit of the bubbly because we're not bitches."
He said it on Twitter.
He
Dude,
said
that was fantastic.
Oh no! Someone's trying to get in the big boy fight.
I enjoyed it. It's
I
pissed
love
people
it.
off. Non-sanctioned match: Moxley versus Omega. Tina's going with Moxley, and man, they've been building this up since Double or Nothing.
I'm going Moxley.
All right,
Yeah, because I do like the build for this. I love the build for this actually.
I'm
It's
going.
insane. Oh, good.
I'm going Moxley. Unsanctioned just seems is Moxley's territory.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lone wolf this.
Okay.
And say there's some
Okay.
shenanigans
Okay.
that
That's
helps.
cool.
Omega.
That helps Kenny.
But
I may be wrong, but I just
Dun, dun,
did
dun, dun.
did you see
If-
why
if-
they made it non-sanctioned? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
what.
Did you see why they made it non-sanctioned?
Yeah, like
It's
it
not
went like a
going to
meeting.
count against the
Yeah.
record.
Yeah.
That's one of the only reasons
That you think?
I feel like there may be. That's the way you can get him to lose without it hurting anything, because it's not going to count on their records. It's going to be basically no rules. That's the only reason.
I swear, Moxley's like the master of matches that don't count against your
Yeah.
record, because he's already had one with Joey Janela.
Seriously.
You know,
No. Okay. So someone pointed out to me like the same day that Moxley cut his promo, Finn Balor cut his in NXT, and they tried to like say like,
Look what these guys can do without.
well, there's that, but they talked bad about the fact that like essentially how they like one was in character, one was like one was like like in kayfabe, one was outside of it, and my point was. For you can't talk bad about either or, because in context of what they're talking about, it makes sense.
Yeah.
For
Yes.
Moxley, it makes sense to talk about in kayfabe, about being screwed over, about this match not counting towards anything.
Yeah.
That makes sense. For Finn Balor, it makes total sense for him to talk about like how he feels because he's frustrated. Let that frustration show.
What
Like it's like
was this the promo? I don't think I saw it. It was last NXT, right?
last NXT he was
Was
talking
it the
about
one he said about like I had to get back in line because someone got a new mask or something?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm
pretty
bringing this
cool.
up is like because people were like, well, on both sides of the fence
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
bad
I
about
got
the
you.
other, and it's amazing. Like first of all, when I have to play middle ground, devil's advocate for both companies, AEW and WWE, you guys need to chill. if I'm defending both companies in the same like Facebook comments, y'all need to calm down, okay? Everybody needs to just chill the hell out, man. Because it's like everyone's like, we'll Finn and we'll John. I was like, guys, it makes sense for John because that's the story. It makes sense for Finn because that's still the story.
Yeah.
Everybody chill. It's like that's the only thing with this. It's like everyone wants to go to war over it. And I'm like, can we just watch the show now? I'm like, can we just watch the show now and just like it? Even I'm over this arguing.
Just enjoy the show. Enjoy Full Gear.
Yeah. Or if you don't want to, don't watch it.
Yeah, if you don't want to, don't watch it.
We've solved pro wrestling.
I think it's worth the money, though. I mean, there's going to be more matches announced. And in addition to that, Impact is going to be running Turning Point on Impact Plus. So if you're an Impact Plus subscriber, they do have an event going on Saturday as well. Brian Cage is going to be getting his rematch against Sami Callihan.
In a cage?
I don't think it's going to be in a cage. Yeah. Ty Valkyrie.
The greatest women's
Give me a break.
I was hoping you were going to say.
God damn you, son of a bitch. Ty Valkyrie. Okay, granted, yes, longest reigning knockouts champion, over 300 days.
She hit 300 days already.
Look, she doesn't compare to Gail Kim. She doesn't even compare to Tessa Blanchard, who is on the roster right now.
Who beat Gail Kim?
Who beat Gail Kim. Okay, Gail's not putting Ty Valkyrie over. She's putting Tessa Blanchard over, all right? Stop it right there. Granted, of course, the Women's 100 has been revealed. We're going to be talking about that pretty soon. Tessa will probably be very high up there, even to the point that in the latest issue of PWI Magazine, she appears in the top 10 like power rankings for Impact Superstars as well, which is male and female.
Oh, cool.
Sorry. Okay. I think, I'm not saying she's a bad wrestler, but she's a product
of she's a good wrestler.
No, I'm not either. But she's a product of a women's division right now that's a bit in flux. They haven't really built up anybody that they could say could take the title from her. The latest challenger being Jordan Grace, who if they build this up right, yeah, I could see Jordan Grace taking the title from her.
Also, it probably doesn't hurt that you're married to Johnny, insert name here.
Even though he's not involved with Impact anymore, supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly.
But yeah, maybe that's part of it. Who knows?
Johnny Nitro isn't, but Johnny Impact.
Anyway, Ty Valkyrie's defending against Tenille Dashwood again. The North is defending against Rich Swann and Willie Mack. The aforementioned Tessa Blanchard and Jordan Grace are tag team against Kiera Hogan and Madison Rayne. And, of course,
Tessa and Grace, dang.
Moose is going to be against...
powerful tag team.
That is very powerful tag team.
So, yeah.
They could take on the Viking Raiders.
So, hey, if you got...
I'd like to see that match, actually.
Yeah, right?
If you got your TV with Bleacher Report Live, you got your mobile device with Impact Plus, there's a lot of good wrestling happening this Saturday as well.
Yep.
Now, speaking of Wednesday night ratings, you guys mentioned the whole back and forth here with NXT and AEW. They both did see their lowest ratings this past Wednesday, but of course they were going up against Game 7 of the World Series.
When I saw what was happening that same week, I was like, there's no one is doing good this week at all. Let's just all accept this.
Dan Krejci, I'm sorry, he did awesome. I'm sorry the bullpen blew it for you.
Yeah,
seems like a year ago already, but
okay. As a Nationals fan, yes, I might wear my heart on the sleeve here. Congrats to the Nationals. It was the weirdest World Series I've ever seen in my life, where all road teams won. My God. And Verlander, for all his brilliance, cannot win a game of the World Series. It's amazing, his career record. So, but Mastroza will be back. Everyone's wondering, like, am I mad about it? Am I mad about it? You know what? For years, I suffered through. Yeah, Baker Mayfield. For years, I suffered through 100 lost seasons as an Astros fan. I've been a fan my whole life, and I'm just very happy we won one 2 years ago and came 1 win away from winning another one. So.
Made it to the finals.
Made it to the World Series. I'm not saying it's a moral victory. I'm not going to go out and buy any American League Championship gear because I don't buy the gear unless you win the whole thing. So,
oh, look at Mr. Frontrunner over here.
Oh my God,
dick. Astros will be back. Congrats to the Nationals though, but they're going to have a hard time rebuilding if they don't sign Anthony Rendon and Steve Strasburg. So
that dude has the weirdest dance, by the way.
Rendon?
Yeah, like. He kind of sits out there.
You're thinking about Soto or Rendon?
No, Rendon. Like his stance, like right before he goes in, like.
Oh yeah.
The way he waits till the pitcher winds up, and then when he actually gets it, like right before, he's like, his hips are kind of out. He's like.
That's baseball, man. Everyone's got a weird stance.
I was watching that, like,
crazy.
Dude just looks weird.
Anyway,
he hit like home runs.
On to the ratings, of course. World Series Game 7, 23 million people tuned in for that.
Dynamite almost had them. They
almost had them. Dynamite 759,000.
Yeah, they were so close, man. They were like,
Ooh, so
bro, they were like several million
And
behind them. They were
NXT
this close.
Speaking of
NXT
baseball,
500
just a bit outside.
NXT 580,000. Almost there.
Ooh.
But you know what?
He
Those
tried the
ratings
corner
should
and
go up.
miss.
Those ratings
God, I
should
miss
go
Bob
up.
Uecker.
The World Series is over.
Oh, man.
We for AEW, you have the lead into Full Gear this week.
Yeah, so they'll
And
probably do
for-
a lot better.
For NXT, you kind of have a fallout of them invading Raw and SmackDown, and people are going to be tuning in to see what happens now in NXT. So we'll see. That, of course, leads into our 1 minute warning. We've talked a lot today. Does anybody have anything to say?
I
about
do.
it? Oh,
I do.
good God.
I do. I
Okay.
do.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
All right. Oh, yeah. It's your.
It's my.
It's
It's
what they should have done with Cesaro this week.
With Mike.
With Mike. All right. Here we go.
All right.
Is this going to be another Hall of Fame?
Oh,
okay.
it
Yeah.
might be.
We'll
I
see.
didn't write it down, so
All right.
it might not.
Here we go. Mike in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So as we said, of course, Cesaro lost to Mansoor at Crown Jewel
Jewel.
because, of course, he did. And then afterwards, he was stuck with the crew in Saudi Arabia. Now, I have sources that reported that why he was waiting, just to make things feel more normal for them, he actually took a pin to Cain Velasquez to get his heat back. So, I mean, Cesaro put him over too, apparently. What I would like to see going forward is I actually want to see Cesaro and Ciampa have a match. Ciampa's match with The Miz on SmackDown was actually really good.
Yes.
So Cesaro and Ciampa, I think, would be amazing. Or Keith Lee, I want to see him swing Keith Lee. That would be amazing. I'm sure he'll take
I think he's done it before.
he'll take the pin, either way, no matter what, because that's what he does apparently. But I just want to see him actually involved in the SmackDown versus NXT versus Raw stuff, taking pins. I'm sure.
All right. Wow.
And that was what they could have done with Cesaro this week.
I thought you were going to mention he knows so many foreign languages. He's the one that's trying to translate everything for the Crown where they were stuck in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if he speaks
He
that
was too
language, though.
busy putting people over.
I
so.
guess. Oh, my God.
What Cain Velasquez been to
Wow.
make things feel more normal.
Tommy, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so on November the 2nd, Noah had their show Noah the Best 2019, Battle with Aesthetics was the subtitle, tagline rather. And they really did really good attendance numbers, 5,523 people in the Ryogoku Koikan. They're trying to get back to the Nippon Budokan, which is a huge venue. They've run there before, but it's been years, so they're trying to get back there. The biggest results from the show, really some important stuff happened. Axis, Go Shiozaki, and Katsuhiko Nakajima, the latter I've actually met once by chance, retained the the GHC heavyweight tag titles. Hayata defeated Yohei, retained the junior heavyweight belt. Rettles became the junior heavyweight tag champions. The Great Muta defeated Naomichi Marufuji, which actually shocked me. But I heard it was a really good match. Takashi Segura defeated Michael Elgin to become the first ever GHC national champion. And Kaito Kiyomiya defeated Keno to win the GHC heavyweight champion. To successfully defend the GHC heavyweight championship, and even wins he's the first champion to hold the new belt, the redesigned belt that they have now. Right. So huge show. It's good. It's good for Noah. And not bad for a company that like about a year ago everyone thought might be closing, especially when WWE came with their offer to buy it. They said no, because they're trying to work themselves back to being the top, the second company again. They actually used to be number one. They actually used to be considered better than New Japan a few years back. They fell off a bit. They're climbing their way back up. Kaito Kiyomiya is leading the way as their new ace, the Emerald Nova they're calling him. And I'm looking forward to what they do from here. So I know I went well over my minute, but it's just really cool. Hopefully Noah can also come to the U.S. soon. Please,
All right,
God.
Jamal and Rosie, calm down there, buddy.
Sorry.
3 minutes in.
Sorry. By the way, I do legitimately love that song, by the way.
Yeah. All right. I got a couple things to discuss. First, I highly recommend everybody. I know some of us probably don't watch, but Total Divas this season. Of course, everyone remembers the crazy ride we had at the beginning of the year, the Ronda, the Becky Lynch, all that storyline, the shoot promos Ronda had on her channel. Getting to see the kind of the behind the scenes of it, which is one of the reasons I enjoy watching Total Divas in this respect, is how Ronda's getting involved with that and how much backlash she's getting backstage from some of the talent. for some of the things she said, but how she's working her way through it and how she does respect it and how she's really pushing the envelope. So I've really enjoyed that. Highly recommend it because, let's face it, WrestleMania was a hell of a lead up to that main event. So it was really cool.
Horrible lead up to that main event, you said?
What?
Do we remember it? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I apologize.
Anyway, we talked about ROH earlier. For those of y'all in the San Antonio area, I just want to mention they are doing a free meet and greet this Sunday from 12 to 2 at Wrestling Shop Trademark and Collectibles. You get the chance to meet Dalton Castle, Matt Taven, Jay Lethal, Mandy Leon, Shane Taylor, and Bandito. This is happening in the Wonderland Mall of Americas from noon to 2 p.m. on Sunday. This is a free meet and greet they're doing as kind of a thank you or a sorry to the fans because they had a show booked. There were some issues with the venue for whatever, or some operational issues that they had to cancel the show.
It was gonna be I think Survival of the Fittest. Was gonna be like night 2 was gonna be at the Aztec actually.
But something happened.
Yeah.
So, but they've been doing these meet and greets. These are free. As somebody who just went to like a free meet and greet thing at Celebrity Fan Fest, take advantage of this while you can, but please get there early. There's gonna be a lot of people, I'm sure.
Also, they did reschedule. They rescheduled the actual show for June 26th, I believe. So So they're gonna be back in San Antonio in June.
Also,
please not the Aztec.
I don't know where.
Also,
please don't go to the Aztec Ring of Honor.
Also, probably take them food because it's ROH, so I doubt they're getting paid.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, by the way, also on Total Divas, or I guess it's on Total Bellas. Were they showing all their Hispanic stuff again?
The Bellas isn't even airing, but yeah, that was a hell of a woman wearing by Tina last week.
Yeah,
right?
that was pretty awesome.
And once again, good night, everybody.
AEW Full Gear is this Saturday, November 9th at 7 p.m. Central Time. Pre-shows at 6 from the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. It's on Bleacher Report Live for $50. Our Twitter account, of course, CCG_WrestleCast. Subscribe to Count to Siggy's YouTube channel. Tweet us your thoughts. Stay tuned for our match of the night poll. And, of course, let us know your thoughts on the show. Let us know what you think. And let you know your thoughts on all the crazy shit we talked about this week. Because there was a lot that went on.
There's a lot happening this week.
Hold on. Before we go, I'm just getting word. Yeah, Cesaro took another pin.
Okay. Goddamn.
He loses more than 24/7 champion.
He does. Which, by the way, look for a video online. Apparently, a fan went to a meet and greet with Mick Foley at a Comic-Con carrying a 24/7 title. Mick Foley took the picture and then pinned him to claim that.
I saw that. That was hilarious. I saw that. It was so good. It was so funny.
Mick Foley's still the legend. That was pretty awesome.
Yes.
Next week, we will recap Full Gear on depending on the results of Turning Point. Last time, AEW Impact did one of these crazy events on Impact Plus. We saw some title changes. That was, of course, in San Antonio. So you could see some craziness happening as well.
At the brewery.
At the brewery. Guys, fun show.
Yes.
There's a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah. That's the longest show we've done in a while, I think.
Wait, were we recording?
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
That's funny. We'll recap Full Gear, like I said, and I should have the full Women's 100 list, although technically it's the Women's 101.
99?
Women's 101.
So did they leave her out, or did they put someone else in there when they had planned?
I'll have to check the list and see what they did. I haven't double-checked that yet.
Yeah,
but,
I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
We'll talk about that next week, hopefully. And
cliffhanger.
Yes, should be a lot to talk about. Our Women's 100 discussion next week, along with AEW Full Gear recap. So until then, this is Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
Over here we got Mike. Thanks. And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces. Remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
See ya.
So if you want to subscribe to the channel, click right here.
And if you want to watch more WrestleCast videos, I got 3 words for you. Click right here.